Good morning and welcome into Hometown today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Wally Lukashenski and Cale Zomer back in the Daily Dodge studio with the wonderful Corey Sparks up in the WBEV studio, making us sound good. Hometown today is presented by Professional Floor Covering and also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. And they have a super spectacular area rug clearance event right now, Cale. They have 70 different types of area rugs. More than 70. You might be talking up to closer to 80 with this. This is nuts. All different types of area rugs here, too. We're talking Capel. We're talking Surya. Talking Kaz. Dalen. All those name brands, you got it there. So you're going to have a wide selection, all different price points, so they're going to be able to help you out. Figure out what makes sense for you, from casual to formal, traditional to transitional, or contemporary. If you want an area rug, they have one for you.
Yep, they've got something for everybody.
It's perfect. That's what I'm talking. And plus, everybody can use a little extra rug, especially in Wisconsin. You know how cold the floors get. It doesn't matter if it's 60 degrees outside. You still get the cold feet walking into the bathroom.
We love a good wood floor, but it needs a good area rug.
Exactly. You kind of get 2 for 1 there. So make sure you take care of that area rug. Hurry into McKinstry's right now for, again, this super spectacular area rug clearance event. For over 166 years, they've been helping us out here, which is still crazy to me. It's a long, long time we're talking there. McKinstry'sHomeFurnishings.com. You can find them under the red awning in downtown Beaver Dam. Very excited stuff there. We've been talking a lot of floors lately. So
a lot of floors.
It makes me sad when I go home and I'm looking at mine. I've got what's it called where it's the placed down, it looks like wood, but it's actually fake?
Do you have vinyl?
Kind of. But then it's ripped. It's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I moved my fridge, and all of a sudden it's ripped. So I'm like, you know what? This is actually a great thing for me. So I'll be looking out. Got to make sure we take care of that. But now we're actually very excited. We're joined with 3 different people today: the director, the producer, and the playwright for BDACT's upcoming September performance of Four Glasses. We're joined by Enda Braden, Megan Boyce, and Marky Shallow. How is everybody doing today?
Doing fine. I hope you are.
Doing well. Very, very excited to talk with you guys today. Because before I started opening this up and starting to look at what the play was about, I heard 4 glasses. I thought it was going to be a joke about people like me that have bad eyesight, the growing up 4 eyes. I thought it was Italian. It's not that at all. Can you guys tell us a little bit about what 4 glasses is and I guess what people should expect from this?
Let me turn that to you, Marky. You want to jump in? It's your baby.
Well, I'll start it, but I'm going to ask you to finish it. I think you know this play even better than I do. It's the 4 glasses that made a woman an alcoholic. And it's got a lot of comedy in it, a little bit of pathos, a little bit of drama, but all the way through, I think you're going to have fun watching it. It sounds like a very deep subject, but I love taking a deep subject and making it a little bit fun for everybody.
So this is going to be more of a comedy then, or is this going to be a drama with just a little comedy mixed in throughout?
It's a real dark comedy.
Ooh, dark comedy. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a comedy that comes with warnings.
Yeah, I like that. Comedy comes with warning. That's perfect, Megan. Thank you.
Exactly.
So when Marky, let me know if you remember this differently than I, but when this play was first in development, it was being done at a place called Process Theater in Atlanta, and Marky and I were working on it. We would have these talkbacks after the show, and every single time someone would say, you know, that thing you made, I was laughing, and I enjoyed laughing, but I'm kind of angry because that's like a serious thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at this picture right now. I imagine we're not going to find out what the 4th glass is until September when we get there. But what are the 4 glasses, so to speak? How would you describe this to people at home? See, there's 3 terms you already kind of teased here on your website.
So, go ahead, Marky.
No, I was going to say I was going to let you start and I'll fill in.
So the main character, France, you know, she's just an absolute mess of a person. At the beginning of the play, she's in her 40s. She's hanging out at a local dive bar, which is what hooked me in the beginning. The bar is called the Lido Deck, so fans of the Love Boat will catch that reference, right? And she's having these conversations with her local bartender. They have kind of a strange relationship. and then the play is a series of flashbacks. So each of those glasses represents kind of one flashback. So she has a really traumatic. But I don't know if that's the right word. She has a not great childhood. How would you describe it, Marky?
I think that's exactly it. And, when I first started writing this, a Christian theater had asked me to write a 10-minute play, and I'd started writing a 10-minute play based on an old cookbook I had found and my family cooking together. And the next thing I know, the kid was in the closet drinking the rum for the fruitcake, and it went downhill from there. It's just
Okay. I see how we got there.
When they want to go.
Yeah. So the first glass is kind of thinking about how messed up her family life was, right? And the second glass is
Right.
About her relationship. Wait, I should know this. I'm about to direct it. God and her relationship with religion and
Right.
her relationship with adult relations.
Okay.
Which comes second, Marky?
I don't remember. I think you're right.
I just read it this weekend. I think
yes.
the
No,
relationship
it's,
with the boyfriend is second.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when Virgil comes in.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of time to figure this out, though, too, because the play is coming in September, and it's an opportunity as well. I'm seeing that your auditions are coming up here in just a little bit over a week. When can people go to auditions, and where do they go?
Go ahead, Megan.
You're going to come to the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater downtown. What are we, 117 West Maple? Audition
Across from Marco's.
Yes.
That's how I
There
always
you
get
go.
people.
There you go. That's a good landmark. Find Marcos. You're going to find you.
for the old timers behind Family Video.
There you go.
The auditions are May 5 and 7. We'll be there from 6 to 8 that evening, and we'll just do some reading together
Yeah,
with whoever
absolutely.
else is there to audition with you. And if there's nobody, we'll help you out.
Absolutely.
But then we don't have rehearsals until end of July.
Till end of July. Yeah, we and if anyone wants to read copy of the script in advance to be like, is this something I'm interested in? We have those available. You can get a digital copy. The information for how to get one is on the BDACT website, bdact.org.
It's a button that says email me
Yeah, hey, there you go. And it winds up with Megan.
in my inbox.
So
Weird how that works.
Crazy.
Yeah, and we are auditioning significantly earlier than most BDACT plays would, because there are a couple of scenes that we need the actors in those scenes to have the lines memorized before we start working on the scenes, because the content of them. We'll have an intimacy choreographer working with people to make sure everything's good on a few particular scenes.
No, I imagine, it's going to be dark comedy. There's going to be some things. I noticed that you have kind of a warning for people that are going to be going to this play. What are some of those topics that might be hard to talk about that people are going to have to be aware of are in the play?
Well, so Marky and I, Marky started writing this play around 20 years ago, right, Marky?
Yep.
And she, at that point when she was writing this play, she and I had already had a relationship. I considered her my good friend. I don't know if she would have used those words. Probably more like guy that keeps hanging around and saying, "Hey, can I be part of what you're doing?" But every once in a while she'd let me get a look at something she was writing, and I'd give her suggestions, most of which she was smart enough to ignore. But she shared this one with me when it was under development, and I said, "Oh, I love that," and I gave her a couple suggestions, and then she wanted to know if I'd be interested in directing it, and I remember saying, "Well, I think you need a woman to direct this." And do you remember this the same way I do, Marky? That you said. I don't need a woman to direct it. I need somebody who understands it's not a comedy and isn't going to take it too seriously. Or,
Yeah.
those aren't your exact words. They were much more witty because you said them. But
Well,
yeah,
you need someone who can make the audience be right there with the characters, whether it's something dark but weirdly funny or heartbreaking. That's why I'm very, very happy to have a wonderful director like Enda, because some people they struggle with that. It'd be easy to just do a sitcom and put it on stage, but this is different. This is going to take you somewhere else, and part of the story is the little girl learning about adult relations. And you can't really sugarcoat that.
Right.
No, you can't. Well, and I'm excited too because I get the sense that all three of you have very different personalities. So working together, it's got to be a lot of fun. I want to dive into that a little bit more when we come back from break here. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Four Glasses, an upcoming September performance with BDACT. That's going to be right on the other side of the break here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
This update sponsored.
And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. Very excited now to be joined by Enda Braden, got it that time. We have Megan Boyce. Oh, was it that you gave me a shrug? Was that a?
No, you're right.
Oh, I'm nervous. Did I screw it again?
No, I did. That shrug was that my name isn't that important.
Oh, well,
Get it wrong, it's
we're
fine.
going to disagree there, but we're also joined by Marky Shallow
I say it a lot.
with BDACT Four Glasses today. And I want to ask all three of you, because I'm always interested when you are going into plays like this, people develop theater, like passions for it, different stages of their life. When did the three of you decide that theater was something you cared about and how you got started?
You want to go, Marky?
Early for me, I was very lucky in that my parents, although we didn't have a lot of money, took me to theater from the start, and every kind of theater. It wasn't just children's theater. saw a lot of things outside of Atlanta at the Alliance Theater. So I got to see everything. And at a certain point, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to put that up there. So, yeah, it's always been there for me.
Well, before I shift attention over to you guys and ask your background, I'm a little interested for a playwright. That's something that I don't feel like we don't talk about enough when we're on these shows with talking with theater groups. Playwright, like that's something that like you're the one that's putting this magic together to begin with. It starts with you. Where does that creativity come from for you to spur these ideas? It sounded like you've been working on this for quite a while.
Well, I got to tell you, it's not that there's not enough stories to go around. There's so many stories. You just got to grab them out of the air. And for me, it's always the characters are going to take you where they're going to take you. I tend to not like agenda writing. Some people do it very well, but I don't go into writing something saying, I'm going to make people believe this or say this. I just start writing the characters, and interesting characters generally will have either a moral compass or a very amoral compass. And either of those will take you somewhere interesting. And I like funny. Even the saddest things, the most dramatic things I've ever written, there's an edge of comedy there. Because that's how you live your life. Not everything's funny, but not everything's miserable either, hopefully.
No, that's a fantastic answer. It fascinates me too, because you're right. You think about, I can't say this for everybody, but I've been at like funerals and stuff and families where you kind of, you have that moment where you're like joking around about what they said during life, or you find that levity in every situation. So I think that's actually a fantastic response there.
A good nickname for Marky would actually be gallows humor.
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
The first,
Actually,
yeah.
this play started as a series writing about all the vices, and it was it was going to be 4 Glasses, the Drinker's Manual. I'm still working on the Liar's Manual, and I wrote one called the Suicide Manual. And let me tell you, if you can get people in the seats talking about suicide, I felt good about that. You know, you can work with anything. And the Suicide Manual opened in Atlanta on Father's Day, so that was a tough sell, but we did it.
Yeah, I'm sure the theater marketing department was thrilled with that one.
Oh yeah, listen, I was calling the Atlanta Goth Society. There's a person that's the main character is bipolar. I actually worked with the Atlanta Bipolar Society, so the character could appear real, you know, and stuff like that. And then my boss and all his rich friends. So it was quite an opening.
There you go.
I should really renew my membership to the Atlanta Goth Society, actually. Now that I think of it.
I think the
lovely.
extended cutoff
They're the
is
most
next
social
month.
people.
They're the most social people. I like that.
They are.
I was going to say, there's a very social person to my right here as well. And in Megan, you kind of have a little bit more of a quiet sense. You are working together, and Megan here for the first time. What's that process been like?
I find that I'm herding cats no matter who I'm working with. So it just matters how many cats I have.
Sure.
Sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they're bigger.
I love working with Megan. We crossed paths at BDACT. She was working on one thing, I was working on something else. And just talking to her, I had the sense of like, oh, that's someone I want to know. That's someone I want to hang out with, you know?
I'm pretty cool.
Yeah. She's awesome.
I've noticed over the years talking with theater people, there's always this really interesting relationship between director and producer. And the pattern I feel like I notice is director is chaos creator and producer is chaos coordinator.
That feels accurate. Right? Yeah.
That's fair.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, I would like to get your take on this trip. You just said that you read it recently again. What do you make of 4 Glasses? There's a lot of work to come up with this in the next few months.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into rehearsals and get a cast put together. This is something that's not usually something that the theater is presenting. You know, we like to keep things a little more lighthearted, and I love a good musical. I'm working on one now, but I think it's nice to temper that every once in a while with something like this, and then it is going to open some conversations, I think, and that'll be good for the talkbacks.
Megan, it's not too late to make it a musical. I'm down with that.
Okay. I'll put some bars together and send them to you.
At one point, Marky and I were actually bouncing around the idea of making a Godzilla musical, which hasn't totally died, but we haven't. It's been kind of sitting on the back burner for about 18 months.
Wow.
So maybe that should happen.
I
want
can hear
that
the solo
revisited.
now.
Yeah, right?
That's I like that idea.
No kidding. Well, I'm curious too, just because that we are talking about a more heavy topic kind of a show. Does that present any challenges to the audition process, whether that be getting people out or what you're looking for in auditions?
That's a good question.
I think it's just as much because they aren't familiar with, it's not a known show.
Sure.
That it's just as valuable to have the script available ahead of time from that standpoint, so they know what things are going to look like and if they want to be involved. But it also gives people an option to, if they get into something that's not going to work for them, that's triggering, then they can stop and they can back out, and I never have to hear from them again.
So, I agree with all that. I'll throw this out. When I've only been in this area about 3 years, and I reached out to BDACT. I said, hey, I used to eke out a living in professional theater, and I'm in the area, and can I get involved? And ever since I keep hearing about somewhere around Laramie Project. They did a BDACT around 2018-ish. Does that sound right? Somewhere in that neighborhood?
Yeah, sure. I wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't do that one.
I keep hearing people say, we need to do more like that, which was, as far as we can tell, the last time they did something that was heavy and serious like this. Also has some funny moments in it. But what I heard a lot of was people saying, hey, as an artistic challenge, I wish I could be part of a show like that. And I was talking with David, the managing director at, David Allen Smith, the managing director at BDACT, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I said, Laramie Project keeps coming up, and he said, yeah, people keep mentioning that to me. And he said, you got anything in your pocket? And I said, about 20 years ago, I worked on this show. What do you think of this one? And that was kind of how I took the show I'd worked on with Marky, and brought it here, but the idea being that we want people coming to the auditions that are up for a really good artistic challenge.
Well, artistic challenge for sure, but it's also going to be a good opportunity to talk about some things that maybe people aren't used to talking about or is comfortable talking about.
Right, yeah.
And we're talking today with director Enda Braden, producer Megan Boyce, and then playwright Marky Shallow with BDACT, sorry, tongue got twisted there. Future performance in September of Four Glasses. I'd love to ask that. When is this play going to be in September? And do you have a website maybe that we can get people to go to click on, learn a little bit more?
Yes, our website is bdact.org. There's buttons for auditions and events. You can scroll through all of the things that are available there. Our performances for Four Classes are September 5 through 7 and 12 through 14. So those are Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30, and then Sunday 2 p.m. matinees.
And then auditions coming up here as well here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. What are those days of work? Can people go for that?
That will be May 5 and 6, Monday and Wednesday that week from 6 to 8. Those are at BDACT Theater, downtown, 117 West Maple. And come on over, go check out the information on the website for the audition, and then walk in and see what happens.
We got just a quick moment left. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about this upcoming performance that people need to make sure they're there when this comes out in September?
Well, just last night, Marky and I were talking, and she's going to be at the show. So if you want to meet a real living playwright, come to the show on opening weekend. And I'm going to quote you, Marky. I asked her, do you want to, not this was last night, but a few months ago, I said, are you going to be at the show? And she said, if I have to steal a car, I will be there.
Ooh.
I can't wait till the September to see if she ends up stealing a car or not.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a play within a play there, Marky.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait. I just cannot wait. It's wonderful to work with people who can do a show so well, but also have such great comic timing.
Well,
That's just a gift. I'm grateful for that.
I was just
can't
saying,
wait.
I've been able to see it right here, even on these calls and in the talks with you guys. This is a fun group right here.
Oh, it truly is.
We're at
It
last
truly is.
sober.
Y'all are kind of fun.
You're sober right now?
Wait, we were.
I thought.
Since I have to punch in later, yes.
Oh, okay.
And I love the backstory on how this came to be at BDACT. You know, this who would have thought 20 years ago, you know, working together in Atlanta, Georgia, that all of a sudden you'd have this great show coming to Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. So I love when things connect like that.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I want to thank the three of you for jumping on a call and jumping in studio with us today. I know I'm fired up for September already.
Well, thank you.
You can sit in the
Thank
front
you.
row if you get there early enough.
Oh, well,
Yeah, sit on the couch.
Yeah.
you don't want to see
Yeah.
this ugly mug.
Yeah. The whole.
Backstage, I don't care.
Fair. We won't be letting it suffer.
There we go. The whole front row is going
Take
to be
a ride in
couches
my
and people.
stolen car.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Marky. I talked over you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, then we'll take a ride in my stolen car.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys again, and we are going to step aside now for a break, and we're going to come back and be joined by the Beaver Dam Police K-9 unit. Very excited. We get to meet some furry new friends here. Very
Love
excited. Every time you get an opportunity to run into some puppies, you're pretty fired up about that.
I want to pet a puppy.
Who knows? You might be passing them.
I
around.
can they see them? I'm not sure puppy is the word
The
they'll
puppy
use.
probably isn't the word,
All
but
dogs
Can they
are
sniff
puppies.
out a stolen car?
Yeah, it didn't
that's true.
say anything about a
Look
stolen car.
out here, Marky. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. On the other side of that, we will be talking to Beaver Dam Police K-9 unit here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by McKinsey's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. And it's also brought to us by Professional Floor Covering, Kale.
Yes, Professional Floor Covering, locally owned. Randy and his team are here to help you design the absolute perfect space. They've got over 1,000 samples of carpet, LVP, hardwood, tile, area rugs. I mean, listen, floors is in their name, so you know the flooring selection's going to be fantastic over there. They're locally owned. The team is fantastic to work with, and of course, they do a whole lot more than floors as well. They also help you out with countertops, whether it's in your kitchen or in your bathroom. The material, the color, the pattern of a countertop, they all play a big role in how a kitchen or bath remodel is going to turn out, and so that's why they offer a huge selection of countertops, including quartz, granite, marble, laminate, you name it, they have got it. They'll help you find the perfect countertop that fits with both you and your lifestyle and your design. And of course, while you're there, check out Pro Edge Sharpening, located inside Professional Floor Covering. They're a full-service blade sharpening shop. They can sharpen blades of all kinds. You can tell who we've got next for our guests. It's going to be a lot of fun in here. They'll do saw blades, drill bits, knives, scissors, you name it. Time to get those lawnmower blades all sharpened up. And that is Pro Edge Sharpening, located inside Professional Floor Covering, 713 Park Avenue in Beaver Dam, online at PROFLR.com. And we're about to have a fun segment, Wally. I cannot wait.
I'm very excited now to be welcomed by Matt Bublitz and Murph, who you got to hear. He's very excited to make his radio
Canine
debut.
Murph.
He
Excited.
is. Here you go.
Well, and we were going to be joined by Ryan Snyder and Boomer, but we saw, I think he called an audible there.
Yeah, the rookie handler sitting here forgot to bring his toy in, so in the interest of trying to keep him a little bit quiet so he can talk, Ryan's going to go grab a toy for him to chill with while we're talking.
There you go.
Absolutely. Well, and I want to start with that because we are joined. We're going to have Boomer in here as well. Two of our canine officers here in the area, and you guys have a golf event coming up to help out, whether it be to get new canines down the road, training, vets, and all that. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. We have our second annual Beaver Dam Police Charities and Canine Golf Outing on June 21st. Registration start time 7:30, shotgun start at 8:30. And the event helps raise money for both our Beaver Dam Police Charities and the Canine Unit. In terms of the Canine Unit, those funds go to help maintain our canine team, whether it be training, equipment, and when a dog retires, we use those funds to purchase another dog. So very important to have support of our sponsors and doing events like the golf outing to maintain our two canines and keep that program here in Beaver Dam.
Well, for people that might be in their car that maybe aren't able to get it written down right now, is there a website that they can go and learn more information?
Sure. If you go to the it's 2025 BDPD Golf Outing it's rsvpify.com. Also, we have on our Facebook page, both the Canine page and the Beaver Dam Police Department Facebook page. We've got a flyer there with the information and also a QR code that you can use to register.
You can always jump back here and watch on Daily Dodge on YouTube, because then you can go back, hear all these details. Make sure you get the website again. Very excited. We're about to be also joined by Ryan Snyder, and Boomer's not in the building right now, but we're going to have to hear a little bit about Boomer because we saw him just a moment ago. How did you guys get into the canine unit yourself? Because, I mean, getting to hang out with two awesome officers like Murph and Boomer's got to be a pretty cool experience.
You can go ahead. You're the first.
Well, I started actually in the city of Waupun a little over 8 years ago with Boomer, and they retired the old canine, and I put in for the new one, and I ended up with him as a partner. We got him over in Campbellsport, where we started originally. It's Dining Tall Kennel, and he's trained to be a dual-purpose canine, where he does he's able to locate drugs, tracking, apprehension, stuff like that, as opposed to a single purpose that's just drugs and tracking with no bite work. So we worked there 4.5 years, and then we lateral transferred over here when there was actually an opening for a canine spot. We have 2 dogs here in Beaver Dam, and when I came over here, I started working with Officer Hall and Canine Yeti, and then we worked together for several years until he retired with Yeti, and then he took over with Murph this last year.
So you've been partners with Boomer for, you said, 8 years?
8 year, April 10th was 8 years.
Wow,
Just-
congratulations.
yeah, that's
And
awesome.
right
He's
up there.
getting up there. He's 9.5 now, so
Okay.
probably be our last year on the road and see what goes into the future then.
Yeah, possibly a well-deserved retirement for Boomer, I imagine.
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
and that's why too it's important that if people don't realize the funding for the canine units is really, really important because there are a very limited number of years that they're able to serve. They they live a good life typically afterwards, but there's kind of that somewhat small window of years that they can be of service. So it's
Yep.
really important. That's where a lot of those funds go to because there is turnover. How about you, Matt? You and Canine Murph here. How long have you been a canine officer?
So I started with Murph back in end of July of last year. So we did a 5-week training course out at Giuseppe Canine. Then hit the streets end of August after our training. So we'll be coming up on a year here in end of July.
And Murph and Boomer, were they both first canine units for both of you, or had you had previous canine units?
Yeah, Boomer was my first dog.
Yep, Murph is my first as
All
well.
right,
So
very cool.
Well, I was going to say, he's got, I'm sure, big shoes to fill with Murph here, right? Boomer's, he's a trained pred at this time.
yeah.
I mean, he's been doing this for 8 years. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about dog eaters. It's 56-year roll he's got been
There you
going
go.
on out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good career.
Yeah, Murph's in his teenage years right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I remember
a
those.
little bit of working every day with him, just a little bit, and then we do training sessions twice a month, in addition to doing some larger conferences and 3-day training seminars, stuff like that. So they do get lots of training, and it's building blocks. You instill the basics during your basic training, and then continue to add on to that.
Because, again, very different stages of being with your canine partner here. Is it training like throughout those 8 years? Is it just kind of reinforcing the habits? What does it look like as these dogs do become more accustomed to what they're asked to do?
Yeah, so like Matt said, when you go through the initial, like Canine Academy, that's very basic. Like you did your drugs, you're able to certify that your dog can find drugs. You're able to certify that your dog can track. You're able to certify that your dog can bite and come off the bite, which is important. So that's like the basic, yeah, you pass. After that, that's like classroom model in a field or in a building where it's way different when you go out on the street and there's weather factors and other officers running around and more noise and radio, and this person is consistently trying to get away, like they keep moving versus just let's go play hide and seek in this building. Real people that are trying to get away move, or they're trying to do absolutely everything they can to be concealed. So more advanced training is needed to make sure that you're able to find people in
Yeah.
those situations. And then when you do start, like the young dogs like that, they're not as confident, so you're building them up into their teenage and 20s and 30s and stuff like that. So when they start getting real confident, so then they start doing things on their own that you don't want them to. So you have to constantly reinforce the basics to make sure that they are staying. That's why we have maintenance training, like we are staying and doing this. They're not just getting bored and I'm going to sit down and so I can get my ball, because I know when I sit, I get my ball. That has to be constantly reinforced that they're only getting rewarded when they're finding what they're supposed to.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I like that. Well,
Yeah, it's a big circle. Where
It absolutely is. Well, it's why, again, this golf outing and raising money is so important, because it does cost a lot of money for the training, for the vet bills,
Yep.
all that goes into it. We only have about a minute left here. Can you tell us a little bit more about the golf outing? Remind us when it is, where it is?
It's the golf outing is June 21st at Beaver Dam Country Club. It's a registration starts at 7:30. A shotgun start at 8:30. We've got open range from 7:30 to 8:30. It also includes your registration includes drink tickets, a dinner or whopper, I guess, when you come back
like that.
from golfing, and awards. We are looking for golfers and also whole sponsors. So any businesses that are wanting to sponsor the canine team, we have a regular whole sponsorship and also a gold level sponsorship, which has some more advertisement opportunities. So we'd love to get out in the community and meet people, and this is a good opportunity to do it and raise money for two different causes at the same time. So
Well, I want to thank both of you for coming in today, and thank you for bringing in Murph and Boomer as well. It's always cool to see different stages of where the dogs are at, and you can see what Murph is like. He's excited. He's still like a puppy.
He loves that toy.
He loves that toy.
He's sounding like me when I get around pizza.
Dude, you ain't kidding. Look at me. I know that drill. But then you get to see Boomer, where it's at like he's more mature. He's
he's
the
hanging
pro.
out.
Exactly. So I love that you guys brought them both in. So I want to thank you both again, Matt Bublitz and Ryan Snyder, for joining us today. And we're looking forward to that golf outing coming up here in a little over a month.
All right, sounds good. Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
Absolutely,
coming in, guys.
And we're gonna step aside for a quick break. Then we're coming back for what I like to call it the damn sports show finish, where you get like 2 minutes of radio at the end.
Speed round.
Speed round is right. That's coming up on Hometown Today here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
To Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Kale Zomer, along with Wally Lukashinsky, down in the Daily Dodge TV studios. Thanks again to the Beaver Dam Police Department Canine Unit for joining us. We had Murph and Boomer in here. Ryan and Matt, it was great to meet them. And again, they've got that golf outing coming up, so if you're a golfer, go and get registered for that and help support that great program, along with the Beaver Dam Police Charities, who do a lot of amazing work around here, by the way. They do some really great stuff, and a lot of times it goes very quietly, and they don't maybe get the recognition. But, on top of doing all the things they do as police officers. They're running a charity as well, and so it's great to see the canines in here. Wally, we've got a busy day coming up here on 95.3 WBEV. Coming up next hour here on Community Comment, Kevin Haugen going to sit down with the Beaver Dam Recreation Department, talk about all kinds of fun stuff. It's getting into peak season for them with spring and summer activities. Going to be a lot going on around Beaver Dam, so looking forward to hearing all about that. And then at 11:10 this morning on Taking Care of Business, Ninja going to get to chat with our friends over at New Med Integrated and talk about some of the great services they have to offer. And then you, Wally, you and our pal Corey Sparks are headed over to Beaver Dam High School this afternoon for a very special live stream.
Yeah, so right around, I think it was 2:37 is like officially start. But if you keep an eye at about 2:30, we're going to go live. So whenever they do, we have signing day.
Yeah.
So this is the exciting time for so many of these young athletes' lives where they put pen to paper. They get to be recognized around their peers with their family for this incredible achievement of working so hard to be able to go to school for what they want to do. They want to be able to play sports there. So as a sports guy, I'm fired up for it, and we're probably going to have about 45 minutes of coverage with that, the signing day itself, and then we're going to have some interviews. It's going to be a fun time.
Fantastic. Yeah, excited for all these high school students getting ready for their next step in their athletic careers. So really big day for them. So excited for that. Again, that's going to be on Daily Dodge TV a little after, right around 2:30 or so. And then Brewers baseball coming up tonight. Brewers playing at the Giants again tonight, and we'll have the pregame for you tonight starting at 8:10 p.m. Again, one of those West Coast series where you get all those late starts. So looking forward to that. But Wally, with that, we are out of time for today.
We sure are, and that's going to do it for us today. It's going to be Kale here tomorrow. I'm out for the next 2 days with the draft.
Yeah.
I'll be back in Monday. I will have some fun, so appreciate that very much. But Kale will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.